What is going on, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and today I will be doing an overview of the Injustice Gods Among Us Omnibus Volume 2 from DC Comics. So, let's do this thing. And welcome back, everybody. Now, this book has been out for a couple of weeks now. This is the follow-up to Injustice Gods Among Us Volume 1, which is based on the video game. And I never thought I would enjoy a comic book based on a video game as much as I've enjoyed this series. So, this is Volume 2, and here's Volume 1. Now, both of these Omnis are still in print as of this video, and they look amazing together. Not so much the front, but those phenomenal spines, when you put both of these books together, look amazing on the bookshelf. You have Superman on one side and Batman on the other. And here's what both of the backs look like. I love the gold look to the wording and the picture of Superman and Batman. Now, for these two, they literally thought ahead as to how these were going to be made. The book dress is the same on both of them. And let's start looking at the inside of the Volume 2 and talk a little bit about that. Well, actually, let's look at the dust jackets. Under the dust jackets, rather. They both have this gold tone to them. I love it. I think it's awesome. They definitely stand out. And here's the back. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at Volume 2. Let's open this up. So part of the reason why I waited so long to do this overview is because I wanted to read this. By the way, absolutely love this idea. They have the same idea in the back here for the bookend pages. That's really cool. And then the back of the board. Just different characters with that gold tone to it. So yeah, I wanted to read it because I enjoyed Volume 1 so much. I wanted to see if Volume 2 held up, and I heard a lot of rumors that it didn't, mainly because of the fact that Tom Taylor decided to step back. As a matter of fact, there's an introduction here by Brian Buccellato, who does the writing for most of this. Now, he also stepped back towards the end, towards the ground zero. But let's go ahead and talk about what this book contains and just a little bit about the plot. Now, to talk about the plot, I do have to talk a little bit about a spoiler that happened in the first volume. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, put me on mute, like some of you all do already, and just watch me flip through the artwork, just in case. And for those of you that don't care, the only spoiler I was going to talk about is really the setup of this world. So this is an alternate reality. This is not canon. This is not in the DC universe. This is just an alternate reality. Pretty ironic that I did an overview of the first Elseworlds tales yesterday with this Batman Gotham by Gaslight. And now we're talking about what this is really an Elseworld tale. It's about an alternate reality where Superman just kind of turns bad. But is he really? So the very first thing I was going to talk about is how this all came to be. And that's one day the Joker decided to see if he could break Superman. If he could give Superman a bad day. We're going back to the roots of the Killing Joke, right? If one bad day can break somebody. And that's what he wanted to do with Superman. However, that ended up with the destruction of Metropolis and the death of Lois Lane with her unborn child. So Superman snapped and literally punched a hole through Joker's chest, killing him. And just pretty much that started the downward spiral of Superman and him losing control. There have been a lot of deaths since then, and I'm not going to spoil any of those, but that's how it all began. And then you have Batman on the side of, no, this is wrong. We can't be doing this. We're good guys. You can't go around just killing people. This is wrong. Batman, right? The guy that refuses to kill against Superman and his Justice League. So on one side you have the insurgency, and on the other side you have the regime. And that's what this story has been about since day one. And of course, that's pretty much the plot, or a little bit of the plot, in the video game. How all these characters came to be. Now in the video game, you're probably wondering, how the hell is Joker still around? Well, that gets explained later, because I was also confused about that, because I remember playing the game. And before I go any further, this omnibus collects Year 4, 1 through 12, and the annual, Year 5, 1 through 20, and annual number 1, and Ground Zero, 1 through 12. So, we're split up into 3 different stories in this omnibus. You have Year 4, Year 5, and then something called Ground Zero. And in the original Omnibus, you have Year 1, 2, and 3 of Injustice, Gods Among Us. So in Year 4, it's pretty much Batman getting the help of gods to fight Superman. Like, he is at wit's end, and he's teaming up with Ares and other gods to take down Superman. Now, that is the premise of year 4. Year 5 sees our final attempt at destroying Superman. So Bruce, with Lex Luthor and some of the other heroes, this is towards the end of this year, and this doesn't really spoil anything, but they decide to go into another dimension and bring the Justice League from another dimension to take out Superman. And I'll let you see how that story turns out. We have the return of Damien. There's a really good heartbreaking issue within this year, but I won't spoil that. And then we have something called Ground Zero. And Ground Zero is pretty interesting, because Ground Zero is the story of Injustice, Gods Among Us, the video game. It's the plot of that video game. Here you'll see how Joker came back, but the twist of this particular story is that it's all told through Harley Quinn's point of view. So I found that to be... I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. It was kind of refreshing, because I've played the video game, but also it's Harley Quinn. And I don't know how I feel about her being a hero. She is a little bit of a loose cannon, so it was fun, but in the end, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about it. I will say, when I do these overviews, I tend to stay away from my own thoughts about the book. But if you're expecting the masterfulness that was in year 1, how about you go into this with lower expectations? Because I went into this thinking, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see how this all leads into the video game. I'm sure Tom Taylor had different ideas. And Brian Buccellato, he did the best that he could. Now, towards the end, it's not Brian Buccellato, but Christopher Sabella that ends up finishing the storyline of Injustice. Let's go back, because I don't want to spoil anything. There was one badass moment that with Deathstroke, where he has to break in and get the mother box. Oh man, it's awesome. And that happens in year 5. So there were some good moments. There were some really awesome moments. And the artwork is stellar. But the ones that stood out to me are Mike Miller, who's one of my favorite pencilers, and I've been following his work for a long time. Bruno Redondo, Pop Man, and Tom Derenick, who is no stranger to comics, but those are the main artists that at least stood out to me. There's about 10 or 12 different artists that work on the entire omnibus. Now, let's look in the back here for extras. So here are some of the variant covers. The book has 1,104 pages and retails for $125. The first omnibus, also was $125. So if you're a fan of what-if stories or Elseworld stories, and you love seeing some of your favorite characters that you've known for years just appear and be completely different, or just appear to be killed off really quick, this is it. This is a lot of fun. And like I said, to stress the fact again, this is not in continuity. It's part of its own universe. And I'm not sure if they're going to collect Injustice 2 in any kind of format, because they also need Injustice versus Masters of the Universe. I'm looking through original artwork here. Actually, this is from the Harley Quinn recap pages. So you have artwork here from Tom Derenick. You have artwork here from Pop Man. And then there was layouts and character designs up here. And you have some stuff from Mike S. Miller. And I think, yeah, here's the layout pages. And then the back here that I was talking about. Now let's look at this binding. So it is sewn binding, and there's that eye. And just showcasing some of the artwork to see what it looks like when it's laying down. Now, towards the end and towards the beginning, and honestly, for the most part, the book does a really good job of just staying open. I mean, we're towards the end here, and it's still trying to stay open. You know, you got these bookend pages here that are heavier than the glossy pages. Same thing towards the beginning. But for the most part, I mean, it does a good job of staying open. We're in issue 1, so that's good to see. But that, as they say, is that. And if you want to pick the book up, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for US customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and the build of this omnibus. Let me know in those comments down below if you've picked it up, if you've never read this, if you hope that we have an Injustice 2 omnibus that also collects Injustice versus He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I would love to know all those comments down below. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We can be found on Redbubble and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel. More importantly, please everybody, stay healthy, stay safe, and much love to all of you.